Blake Lively just dropped the biggest bombshell in Hollywood history, and what she revealed about Justin Baldoni is absolutely insane. From alleged harassment on the set of It Ends With Us, to secret recordings of disturbing conversations, to a coordinated smear campaign designed to destroy her reputation. The drama between these two has exploded into a massive $500 million lawsuit that's set to go to trial, and honestly bro, after reading the court documents, I'm shocked that this was happening behind the scenes the whole time. I mean, we all thought the It Ends With Us press tour was awkward, with Blake and Justin refusing to do interviews together, and fans speculating about tension, but nobody expected this. The lawsuit reveals allegations of inappropriate behavior manipulation and a PR nightmare that involves some of the biggest names in the industry. And now with the trial date officially set for October 2026, we're about to witness one of the most explosive celebrity court cases in recent memory. Because this isn't just about two actors having beef. This is about power abuse, alleged misconduct, and a woman finally speaking out after being silenced for months. And trust me, what Blake is claiming in these documents is going to change everything you thought you knew about what happened on that movie set. Let me break down how this whole situation started, because the timeline is absolutely wild. So back in early 2023, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were cast in It Ends With Us, which is based on the best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover. Justin was not only starring as the male lead Ryle, but he was also directing the film, which already created a weird power dynamic on set. According to Blake's lawsuit, this is where the problems began. She claims that from day one of filming, Justin made her feel uncomfortable with alleged inappropriate comments about her appearance, unsolicited physical contact during scenes that weren't in the script, and behavior that crossed professional boundaries. Blake states in the documents that she repeatedly asked Justin to maintain a professional distance, but he allegedly dismissed her concerns and made her feel like she was being too sensitive. She even claims that she brought these issues to the production team multiple times, but nothing was done because Justin was the director and had control over the entire project. So Blake felt trapped in a situation where she had to continue working with someone who allegedly made her uncomfortable just to fulfill her contract. And honestly bro, that's horrifying, because imagine being in that position where you can't speak up without risking your entire career. But it gets even worse, because according to the lawsuit, Blake started documenting everything. She allegedly recorded conversations, kept text messages, and had witnesses on set who saw some of the interactions between her and Justin. And some of these recordings are apparently included in the court filings, which is insane, because if what Blake is saying is true, then we're going to hear actual proof of what went down. One of the most damning allegations in the lawsuit claims that during a particular scene, Justin allegedly improvised physical contact that wasn't choreographed, and when Blake expressed discomfort, he allegedly told her she needed to be more professional and commit to the role. Blake's lawyers argue that this was a manipulation tactic to gaslight her into thinking she was the problem, when in reality, Justin was the one crossing lines. The lawsuit also mentions that other crew members witnessed these incidents, and some of them have given statements supporting Blake's version of events. So this isn't just a he said, she said situation. There are apparently multiple people who saw what was happening and are now coming forward. Now, when the movie wrapped in late 2023, everyone assumed things were fine because Blake and Justin both posted about the film on social media, thanking the cast and crew. But behind the scenes, Blake's legal team was already building a case. She allegedly hired a crisis management team and started gathering evidence because she knew that if she went public with these allegations, Justin and his team would try to destroy her credibility. And that's exactly what happened. According to the lawsuit, after Blake's lawyers sent a formal complaint to Justin's team in early 2024 demanding accountability and an apology, Justin allegedly launched a coordinated PR campaign to discredit her. The lawsuit claims that Justin hired a top-tier PR firm to plant negative stories about Blake in the media. Stories about her being difficult to work with, demanding special treatment on set, and causing problems during production. Blake argues that these stories were completely fabricated and designed to paint her as a diva so that if she ever went public with her allegations, people wouldn't believe her. And honestly bro, when you look back at some of the headlines from that time, it all makes sense now. There were so many random articles about Blake being problematic on set, and at the time, people just believed them without question. But the most shocking part of the lawsuit is the alleged smear campaign that went even deeper. Blake claims that Justin's team didn't just plant stories in tabloids. They allegedly created fake social media accounts to spread rumors about her, paid influencers to make videos criticizing her behavior, and even tried to hack into her personal accounts to find dirt they could use against her. I mean, bro, this is straight out of a movie. Blake's lawyers have included screenshots of deleted post-communication records between Justin's PR team and certain media outlets, and even financial records showing payments made to people who posted negative content about Blake online. If all of this is proven in court, then Justin is in serious trouble because this goes beyond just workplace misconduct. This is allegedly a calculated effort to destroy someone's reputation and career. And the fact that Blake has receipts for all of this is insane. Now let's talk about the $500 million lawsuit, because that number didn't just come out of nowhere. Blake is suing for emotional distress, loss of income damage to her reputation, and punitive damages. Her legal team argues that because of Justin's alleged actions and the smear campaign that followed, Blake lost multiple job opportunities. She was supposed to be in talks for several major film projects in 2024, but according to the lawsuit, those deals fell through because studios didn't want to deal with the controversy surrounding her. Blake also claims that the mental and emotional toll of dealing with this situation affected her family life and her ability to work. She stated in interviews since filing the lawsuit that she went through therapy, dealt with anxiety, and even considered stepping away from acting altogether because of how traumatic the experience was. So, the $500 million isn't just a random number. It's calculated based on projected lost earnings, the cost of repairing her reputation, and compensation for the alleged harassment she endured. When Blake officially filed the lawsuit in March 2025, the internet absolutely lost it. People were shocked because Blake had been silent about the whole "it ends with us" situation for over a year, and nobody expected her to come out with allegations this serious. Twitter exploded with hashtags like "I stand with Blake" and "Justice for Blake" trending worldwide. Fans started rewatching old press interviews from the movie and pointing out all the moments where Blake and Justin seemed uncomfortable around each other. There's this one clip from a red carpet event where a reporter asks them about working together, and Blake gives this super awkward laugh before changing the subject, and Justin looks visibly tense. People were commenting things like "we knew something was off" and "the signs were there all along." But there were also people defending Justin, saying that these are just allegations and that we should wait for the full story before jumping to conclusions. Which is fair, but at the same time, the evidence that Blake has provided in the court documents is pretty damning. Justin's response to the lawsuit was released just days after Blake filed, and bro, his statement was wild. He completely denied all of Blake's allegations, calling them false, defamatory, and a desperate attempt to salvage her reputation after behaving unprofessionally on set. His lawyers released a counterstatement claiming that Blake was the one who created a hostile work environment, that she constantly showed up late to set, made unreasonable demands, and was difficult to work with throughout the entire production. Justin's team also claimed that the tension between them had nothing to do with harassment and everything to do with creative differences. They argued that Blake wanted more control over the film, and when Justin as the director made decisions she didn't agree with, she became confrontational. Justin's statement also mentioned that he has his own evidence, including emails and witness testimonies that will prove Blake is lying. So now we have two completely opposite versions of what happened, and the only way we're going to find out the truth is when this goes to trial. But here's where things get even messier, because shortly after Justin's response was released, several crew members from It Ends With Us started speaking out. Some of them posted on social media supporting Blake and confirming that they witnessed inappropriate behavior on set. One crew member, who chose to remain anonymous, gave an interview saying that there were multiple occasions where Justin made Blake visibly uncomfortable and that everyone on set could feel the tension. But then other crew members came forward, supporting Justin, saying that Blake was exaggerating and that what she's describing as harassment was just normal directing. So now even the people who were on set can't agree on what actually happened, which makes this whole situation even more confusing. The trial is going to come down to evidence, the recordings, the text messages, the witness testimonies, and whoever has the stronger case is going to win. In August 2025, the court officially set a trial date for October 2026, which means this case is going to drag on for over a year before we get any real answers. Blake's legal team has stated that they're confident in their evidence and that they're prepared to prove every single allegation in court. They've also said that this case is bigger than just Blake and Justin. It's about holding powerful people in Hollywood accountable for their actions and showing that women in the industry won't stay silent anymore when they're mistreated. Blake herself released a statement after the trial date was set, saying that this has been the hardest year of her life, but that she's ready to fight for the truth. She said, "I'm not doing this for money or attention. I'm doing this because what happened to me was wrong, and I refuse to let it be swept under the rug." And honestly, bro, you can hear the pain in her words. This clearly affected her deeply, and she's not backing down. Justin, on the other hand, has been relatively quiet since the trial date was announced. He's continued to work on other projects and has been seen at industry events acting like everything is normal. But sources close to him say that he's stressed about the trial and worried about how this is going to affect his career long term. Because let's be real, even if Justin wins this case, the allegations alone have already damaged his reputation. A lot of people in Hollywood have distanced themselves from him, and there are rumors that some studios are hesitant to work with him because they don't want to be associated with the controversy. So regardless of the outcome, Justin's career is definitely going to take a hit. As the trial date gets closer, both legal teams have been filing motions and releasing new information to the public. In December 2025, Blake's lawyers submitted additional evidence, including alleged text messages between Justin and his PR team discussing how to handle Blake's complaints. One of the messages allegedly shows Justin saying, "We need to control the narrative before she goes public," which, if real, is pretty incriminating because it suggests that Justin knew Blake had valid complaints, and instead of addressing them, he focused on protecting his image. Blake's team argues that this proves the smear campaign was real and that Justin was actively trying to silence her. But Justin's lawyers have argued that those messages are being taken out of context and that Justin was simply trying to manage a difficult situation professionally. There's also been speculation about whether this case will go to trial at all or if they'll settle out of court. Some legal experts believe that Justin might try to settle to avoid the public embarrassment of a trial, especially if Blake's evidence is as strong as her lawyers claim. A settlement would allow both parties to move on without airing all the dirty details in court. But Blake has made it clear that she's not interested in settling unless Justin publicly apologizes and takes full responsibility for his actions. She wants accountability, not just a payout. So unless Justin is willing to admit wrongdoing, this case is definitely going to trial. The public reaction to this entire situation has been insane. Social media is completely divided, with some people fully supporting Blake and others defending Justin. There are entire Reddit threads dedicated to analyzing every piece of evidence, dissecting old interviews, and trying to figure out who's telling the truth. Some people believe that Blake is a victim who's finally standing up for herself, while others think she's using allegations to get revenge after a bad working relationship. And honestly, bro, I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I don't think Blake would risk her entire reputation and career by filing a $500 million lawsuit if she didn't have real evidence. But I also think there's probably more to the story than what's been made public. We won't know for sure until the trial happens and all the evidence is presented. What's crazy to me is how this whole situation highlights the power dynamics in Hollywood. Blake is a huge star with resources and a platform to speak out. But even she struggled to be heard and taken seriously. Imagine how many other people in the industry have experienced similar situations but don't have the power or resources to fight back. This case could set a major precedent for how harassment and misconduct are handled in Hollywood. If Blake wins, it could encourage more people to come forward. But if she loses, it might discourage victims from speaking out because they'll be afraid of the backlash. I don't like to pick sides in situations like this because I wasn't there and I don't know what really happened. But what I do know is that this trial is going to be one of the biggest celebrity court cases we've seen in years. The amount of evidence, the high-profile nature of both parties, and the serious allegations involved make this a case that everyone is going to be watching. And when October 2026 rolls around and this trial finally starts, we're gonna get answers. Whether those answers support Blake or Justin remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, this is gonna be explosive. And honestly, bro, I just hope that justice is served. Whatever that looks like. Because at the end of the day, this is about more than just celebrity drama. It's about accountability, it's about respect, and it's about making sure that people in positions of power can't get away with bad behavior just because they're famous.